Well, I mentioned I was going to come on here live today, and I was going to talk about what do you do if you're on the losing side. Hey, Kayla. Hey, Talia. What do you do if you're on the losing side? When you fought in the battle and you lost, when you gave it all you got and you still didn't make it. How are you? Hey, Vias. Still don't know if I'm saying your name right, even though you sent me the pronunciation. Lily, you made it. It's probably you should be in bed sleeping. Hey, the Selena and Taylor Swift fan. Hey, Sarah Grace. So I wanted to talk to you about what do you do when you're on the losing side? Is there anything good about being a loser? I mean, does that name make you think, oh yeah, I want to be a loser? Hey, Alea. Hey, Orelai. Chewy, how are you? So nobody wants to be on the losing side. That doesn't appeal to anyone. If you ever did sports in high school and have you ever had the not being picked for the team? Have you ever been like the last one picked and nobody thinks you're any good at it? Have you ever been that and then you play full out and you give it all you've got and you still lose? Has that ever happened to you? Well, I want to talk to you about possibly that there is something noble in just fighting the fight, even if you lose. Because how many of you know you can't win every battle? You can't win every game. You can't succeed at everything you set out to do. Even if you give it your best. Hey, Verity. Hey, Ari Star. Hey, Kate Angel. Hey, Jada. Hey, Reading with the Sisters. Alice, how are you? Miraculous Ladybug. Scotty Moon. Marissa. Deva. Avika. Did I say that right? Yeah, you know what? I haven't watched the recent Dhar Mann one with the disability, but it's close to my heart because my 13-year-old has some disabilities. As a matter of fact, they're going to be coming out with a video. Dhar Mann's going to be coming out with a video. Hey, Lean. Hey, who are you? Oh, Brenda. They're going to be coming out with a video of a kid with autism. And I actually was like, hey, you know, my son, Timothy, that's one of his diagnoses. And cerebral palsy is the other, you know. And I was like, oh, my son, Timmy, would he really love to be in a video? But he's not really an actor. He could maybe pull off one line, but not like an entire lead role. A-List, how are you, cool kid? So I was talking about, I like the way you act. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Yes, heterochromia, that's what it's called. Heterochromia iridis, that's what it's called when you have two different colored eyes. Tequila said she has Tourette's. That's also one of my older son's diagnoses. He has several. So yeah, we have interesting days sometimes around here where he can't necessarily, where he doesn't have full control over what's going on in his mind. Hey, Nina, and he can get a little out of sorts and tantrums and all that. So anyway, Dhar Mann is going to be doing a video in March about special needs and autism. So that will be interesting. Oh, thank you. Someone's complimenting me on my skin. I had 2 weeks ago, I had a very expensive facial. So I'm glad it did something for me. Also, I think lighting makes a difference. Okay, so Lily's saying she used to have bad tantrums as a child. So I found this poem, and you guys know, if you know me by now, you know I love poetry. I've written 3 poetry books. I'm going to put a 4th one out this year. Oh, Tequila was talking about all the diagnoses she has. Thank you so much. Oh, someone's watching from Uganda. Nice to see you. I always like to start with a poem as kind of like the icebreaker of a topic we can talk about today. So this is called The Losing Side. And, all right. Helmet and plume, saber, banner, and lance and shield. So those are all weapons. Those are all things that you fight with. So what's going on with all these weapons? It says scattered in sad confusion over the trampled field. So they were fighting. There was a battlefield. I will answer your question about poetry when I'm done reading this poem, okay? I will answer all your questions when we're done with this. And the band of broken soldiers with a weary, hopeless air, with heads in silence drooping and eyes of grim despair. That's what it feels like when you've lost. You're just laying on the battlefield, all your weapons are scattered, your head's hung down, and you're like, what is life about? Like foam flakes left on the drifting sand, in the track of falling tide, on the ground where their cause has failed to stand, the last of the losing side. So here's all these soldiers, and they fought this battle. Their weapons are strewn about everywhere, and they're just like, what the heck happened? How could we possibly, they're sad, they're in despair. Maybe you guys have felt that before, like, man, I gave it all I got. How could I possibly have lost? We had the odds stacked in our favor. Or, this could be a court case. This could be a fight you have with the friend. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Are you sharing? Should I put this here? So you lose. And what happens? Wisdom of age is vanquished and generous hopes of youth. How many of you have been fighting all your youth, all your time for this goal, this something that you're trying to achieve, and it just seems like you can't grab it? You're just losing nonstop. Passion of faith and honor of fire, love and truth. So you're fighting for a good cause, and still, sometimes the bad guys win. Sometimes in a court case, whatever it is, the bad guys win and the good guys lose. Okay? So the plans that seemed the fairest. Okay, he's putting on a little show for you back there. Woo! The plans that seemed, hey, Morgus fans. He's exercising or something. Woo! The plans that seemed the fairest in the fight have not prevailed. That means the good guys lost. How can the good guys lose? We're not used to that because we watch all these Hollywood movies where the good guys always win. But how many of you know, raise your hand, that that's not life? That is not how life goes sometimes. The good guys lose in real life. How many court cases do you see where the bad guy wins because they have a better lawyer or more power or more money? Ethan's got his hand raised. Sometimes the good guys lose. But the souls, I love this. So just because you lose doesn't mean you should be ashamed. Hey, Pramitha, doesn't mean you should feel ashamed. Here it says, but the souls that know not the breath of shame, and the tongues that have never lied, and the truest hearts and the fairest fame are here on the losing side. So the losers whose hearts were pure and they spoke only the truth can sometimes still lose. You look at that, back to the example, not just on the battlefield, not just on the playing field of soccer, but on the field in a court case. Sometimes you will tell the truth, the person telling the truth, someone who's been the victim of something, they will still lose. And they've told the truth. And somehow the judge or the jury can't see the truth. And they believe the lies, or, sometimes they're putting false, what's it called? Evidence. All right, there's only one stanza left, and then we'll answer your questions. The conqueror's crown, okay, that's the winner. The conqueror's crown of glory is set with many a gem. So they've won this crown. They've got all the jewels in it. But I join not in their triumph there. There are plenty to shout for them. Look, they don't need you clapping. They don't need you cheering. They got a whole entourage. They got all these people so excited and happy that they won. Their cause is the most applauded. More people are clapping for them. They're more applauded, the warriors that gain the day, the people who win the battle, the people who win on the soccer field, who won the Super Bowl. I don't know if you guys even watch American football. But dearer to me, here's what this poet is saying. Dearer to me is the darkened plain. That's the field where everyone, all the losers are laying. Where the noblest dreams have died. I'll get to your question, Diva, in a minute. You'll probably have to ask me again. So dearer to me is the darkened plain where the noblest dreams have died, where hopes have been shattered and heroes slain in the ranks of the losing side. This is a poem by Arthur E.J. Leach. So, dearer to me is the darkened plain where the noblest dreams have died. How many of your dreams have died because you've been losing at them? Where hopes have been shattered and heroes slain. Here on the losing side. I consider myself on the losing side. I don't know if you guys consider yourself on the losing side. Lily says me, Winnie says many times. So it's so easy to just lay there, to say, well, I guess that's it. Why bother trying again? This isn't going to work out. Why should I continue on? I'm just going to get beat. Jonathan says that he used to feel that way. Sergio has the perception that women in court always win. I have not found that to be true because I went to court 7 times trying to get a crazy tenant out of my house who was tormenting us day and night. He was renting in my guest house. I did not win, and it didn't matter that I was a woman. And it didn't matter that he was violent, screaming, pounding on walls, taking photos of my children, not paying rent. I mean, it was thing after thing after thing, and I did not win. I had evidence. I had police reports. The police had to come out. So no, I don't think you can say that women always win. Okay. So Tequila says gender means nothing. Chewy says once in a while I give up. Yeah, it's easy to think, once you've been defeated time after time after time, it's easy to think, what's the point? Why bother to go on? I'm not gonna win. Just look at this. But that's not true. Rosie says it's cold in Maine. No, I don't know what GDP is. So do we keep going? I could have said after that court case, I am never renting out my guest house to anyone again. Everyone is crazy, But there comes a time where you have to trust again. There comes a time where you have to get back up from the battlefield. Oh, Lily, yes, I do know what that is. I hear it talked about in news reports. There's a time where you got to get back up and fight again. Because Winnie said, is there only one kind of Bible? It depends on who you ask. There's different versions of the Bible. Hi, Timmy, and hi, is this Pluto? You guys recognize Pluto? Hi, Timmy.
Hey.
So we were just talking about you and the challenges you have sometimes, trying to keep your mind in order.
I play video games like Roblox, Rec Room, etc. I have too many accounts now.
And why do you have too many accounts? Why do you have more than one account?
Steam, Rec Room, Roblox,
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I said, thank you, Winnie. So we get back up and we fight again. I don't remember what I was saying after that. But you have to get up, because do you want the rest of your life to be not ever going after your dreams just because you lost the battle a few times? Okay, did you have a chance to see the 2 Dhar Mann videos with the message, if you cheat, you'll never get ahead? One of them just came out yesterday. I didn't see the one yesterday. I'm kind of behind. I need to... Oh, thank you, Sergio. I'm kind of behind. I have to catch up on watching. You can work and fight hard, but nothing changes. Well, that's not always true, but sometimes it feels like nothing changes. But if you keep going after, even though the changes are so incrementally small, you can still make progress and you can still make a difference. And I know it sometimes it feels like, what is the point? I mean, I was pursuing being an actor for like 22 years, and it was like nothing is happening. Nothing is moving. Nobody is like hiring me. I'm not getting on big important projects. I'm not, it feels like that, but you don't really know the difference you are making. Each step you take. My dad always used to say, inch by inch, it's a cinch, but yard by yard, it's hard. So sometimes you can't make big leaps and bounds of progress, but you can make tiny little steps along the way. All right. Lily's saying her mom got discriminated by taxi drivers last year for being Chinese. Yeah, it happens. It happens everywhere. And it happens to every race. Every race and culture gets discriminated against in some way because people have misconceptions. Now, Winnie had asked me how I deal with criticism and being judged. Well, first of all, you just have to realize it's going to happen. It's going to happen no matter what. People who no one has ever heard of get criticized and critiqued. People at the top of their game, at the height of their fame, get criticized and critiqued. So it's not really about if it's going to happen or not, because judgment and criticism is going to happen. It's more about how you react to it and what you make that mean about you and what they're criticizing. Are you making it mean that their opinion matters more than yours? Because if you do that, you're going to be crippled. You're not going to want to move ahead. You're not going to want to move because you're going to believe them. I have dramas, but now I won't happen to me. I'm not sure what that means. Chewy says we are all human. So criticism is going to happen. So do you take it? Do you take it in? Do you believe it? You know what? For me, when I get criticism and critique, it used to wipe me out. It used to make me so upset and cry and teary and like I'm on the couch crying and I can't do anything for like 3 days because I'm so upset that somebody, hold on, I'm going to shut the door. Because I'm so upset that somebody said something about me. But I'm not like that anymore because I've realized their opinion doesn't matter more than mine. Why are you letting their opinion matter more than your opinion? Jonathan said he's been there before. And more importantly, why are you letting their opinion matter more than God's opinion about you? When we get clear, when we know who we are based on what the scripture has to say about us, that gives us our strength. So someone may say, you're a loser, you're this, you're that. But if you know who you are as the child of God that he created you to be, you can say, well, that's your opinion, but God says I'm the head and not the tail. He says I'm above only and not beneath. He says I am more than a conqueror. And if you know what his word says about you, you can stand, you can fight in the battle, and you can get over the judgment and criticism coming against you. But without knowing what God has to say about you, it's easy to be like, oh no, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't bother. Maybe I shouldn't try. What's the point of going on? Because they don't like my artwork, so maybe I shouldn't paint anymore. I have dreams now, but it won't happen to me. Well, if you decide it's not going to happen, then it's not going to happen because it's really up to you. It's not up to anybody else. So if your dreams aren't happening and you say, my dreams aren't going to happen anymore, then they won't, because, you're going to believe what you say. You're even going to believe what you say above anyone else. See, the only way someone else's critique and criticism has power over you is if you believe it. It's all about what you believe. What you believe, what you perceive. If you say they're right, then that settles it in you. But the minute you stand up and say, no, I'm not going to believe that. No, you're wrong about me. No, that's just your opinion. Or you don't like my art. You don't think I'm good at this. Well, then don't look at my art. You don't like my poetry? Well, then don't read it. It's not for you. It's for the people who love it. So somebody said, I compare myself to others. I used to do that. And comparison is a trap. It really is a trap, because what we do when we're comparing is we always compare the worst thing about us to the best thing in somebody else. So when I'm mad that I don't have a flat stomach, I'm comparing my stomach to these Instagram fitness models who have these flat tummies. And so let's say it's the best trait. It's the worst trait in me, but it's the best trait in them. We always compare what we think is the worst about us to what's best in somebody else. And we're not even bothering to notice they may have all kinds of other drama. They may have stuff about them that isn't very good. But we never compare the good stuff about us to the bad stuff in someone else. We're always, it's like how we don't measure up. But a part of a poem I wrote once said, when we compare, we're not content, no matter what we've got. When seeing through an envy lens, it's always what we've not. So we're always looking at what we don't have and what somebody else has. And we have to stop that, because you know what? There's plenty of things that we have that somebody else might be jealous of. And somebody would say, some of you might say, well, no, I'm nobody. I don't have any money. Well, do all four of your arms and legs work? There's a lot of people that wish that they weren't in a wheelchair. There's a lot of people that wished, that they were healthy. So whatever it is, you have to embrace what you have. Okay, Lily asked me what my best asset is today. I think, because I told Lily the other day when she asked me what my best asset was, that it probably changes every day. So it depends on what I'm dealing with. So I don't remember what I said it was the other day, but maybe today would be being open to learning. How many of you know you have a certain view? You have a certain point of view of how things should go and how they should be and what they should look like. And you get kind of stuck in that. You're like, well, this is the only way it can be, and this is the way I am, and I can't change that. So being able to learn and move and adapt and to grow to the point where you start to believe you are capable of things you never thought you were capable of. So last night, I'm going over the script. So a lot of you guys don't know, but I'm in directing class right now, and I'm studying to become a director. I may eventually move out of acting and start directing. I don't know. Maybe I'll do both. Certainly writing is going to be in the picture. But so we're going through the script, and I was kind of doubting myself. I was like, I don't know if I'm capable of directing. And he's been doing this for many years, so he sees stuff I don't see. He's like, well, if we did this, and he's trying to pull out of me my directing instinct. So he's like, how would you set up this scene? What would the setup be? What would be the first thing you'd shoot in the scene? You don't have to follow exactly how the writer wrote it and show the things as the writer saw it. So he's getting me to think, what's most important in this scene? Is it the reveal of this guy, or is it the reveal that she's watching this guy? And so I had it, wrong. I had it wrong. And so so there's this part of me that wants to shut down every time I am trying to learn and I do something wrong. When I shoot my short films and I take them to directing class and the teacher's picking them apart of all the things I could have done better, there's part of me that's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I shouldn't be a director. Maybe I'll just sit in my office and just on my computer and write my books where I can't be rejected. Because we all have that thing. No matter how far up you get, you can sometimes feel like, oh, people aren't going to like this, and you worry about being a people pleaser. Now, I have grown so much in that area, but I say all that to say, no, I did put a little blush on my cheeks because I just looked so pale this morning. So I say all that to say, learning, growing, expanding myself has got to be my strongest trait today, my biggest asset, because without that, I would stay stuck. Hi, Elijah. I would say stuck in the place of my limiting beliefs. So pushing through my limiting beliefs is what we have to do. Okay. So who's got a question for me? I know like 20 of them went by that I didn't get. Do you have any pets? Rosie, not right now. I've always had dogs growing up, and then we had a cat early on in our marriage. But Timothy's allergic to cats. So you're so inspirational. Thanks for, oh, thank you. How do you stop being a people pleaser? Well, it starts with first believing that your opinion matters just as much as theirs, and honestly, more than theirs. Your opinion has to matter more than others because you have to live with yourself. You have to wake up each day and go to bed each night knowing the decisions you made, and you have to be happy about them. Daggy, my books are on Amazon.com. I have 3 books on there. Poetic Prescriptions for Eternal Youth, Poetic Prescriptions for Plaguing Problems, and Poetic Prescriptions for pesky problems. So you have to live with yourself. You have to know that your opinion matters and that you matter, and that Eli's trying to get me to go somewhere with him. All right, let's see where Eli wants to go. I'll still answer your questions. It may not be great lighting, but where do you want to go, Eli? So, does your opinion matter as much as others? You have to believe that it does. Here's the thing. The thing is, you're going to stand before God one day and you're going to answer, what did you do with the calling that I put on your life? And you're not going to be able to say, well, so-and-so didn't like it. So-and-so wanted me to, I got to show you guys something because Jonathan's on the call. Let me look in this cabinet here. Oh, see that little guy and that little rabbit? These are things Jonathan made me. This is a little bunny angel. Oh, Eli. Oh, I got to close the cupboard because Eli thinks they're toys and he tries to get in there. Anyway, Jonathan's a great artist that makes wooden artwork. Sorry. Okay, next question. I don't know if Elijah would want that. I don't know if he would wear it. Can I ask? Oh, shoot. I need lots of help to get my fat tummy hurt. It hurts when people call me fat. Well, there's always going to be critics. There's always going to be people judging you. And do you believe it's true? And are you upset about the size you are? Or are you only upset that other people are calling you names about your weight? Because if you're upset about it and you don't like it, then you're going to have to do something to change it. But if you don't mind your weight or how you look, then you're just going to have to ignore other people's opinions. I've had so many people criticize me for my looks. In Hollywood, casting directors, it's all about your looks. You could be the best actor for the role and still not get the part because you're too old, or they say I have been fired for being too fat. I've had casting directors and directors grab my waist and squeeze it, grab my underarms and pinch it, tell me I'm too fat, hit me in the stomach. I've had a director put his hand on my shoulder and be like, geez, you're like a linebacker, you're huge. So sometimes it doesn't even matter what your size is. Yeah, Takayla says you're not fat. But in Hollywood, I'm considered fat. I know I'm not as a normal person, but in Hollywood, I'm considered overweight. That's kind of just how they are here. It's kind of crazy. So, Jarrell said I used to be hated for being disabled. And sometimes people will make fun of you if they don't understand. They don't understand you. Have you ever been recognized in public? Yes, I have. Not so much now that we have to wear masks everywhere we go. But yeah, I've had people stop me and start taking pictures with me and stuff like that. Okay. Thank you, Rosie. Thank you, Miraculous Ladybug. But my point is, just because people said that about me doesn't mean, and the Autistic Rev Jonathan is giving Jarrell some advice. Exactly, Derek. Derek says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. See, that's what the scriptures have to say about you. God says he made you wonderfully. So that's the thing. You can have low self-esteem if you don't know what God thinks about you. And if you believe God made you on purpose, for a purpose, oops, and that you are his favorite creation, you're going to start to doubt yourself. You're going to start to believe those voices. Shine says she has toxic family members that are stopping her progress. My mother is very selfish towards me. What does that mean? Can you tell me a little more about that? And that's a thing. Some people will be jealous of you, and sabotage you, and they will try to get you to stay the same. Someone says, when someone is angry, frustrated, and put us down, they belittle us. It makes you question. It does, and it does make you question. No, I don't think so, Lily. It does make you question yourself. But just because they're your blood or your family or your friends doesn't mean they know what's best. Doesn't mean they know what you should do. You guys, check out some stories of successful, famous celebrities and just listen to their stories as different interviews they've been on. They'll tell, so-and-so was against me. So-and-so said I couldn't make it. So-and-so says I would never get hired again. Look at William H. Macy. Do you guys know who the actor William H. Macy is? He's been nominated for an Oscar, and his acting coach basically said he couldn't act his way out of a paper bag. His acting coach said he was the worst actor he had ever seen, but he kept trying, he kept studying. He kept trying and studying until he finally made it. Raven asks, where am I? I am in my office right now. I'm in my office. So you got to keep going. Someone said they got rejected at the theater because of their height, weight, and lack of hair. Exactly, but that's an actor's life. It's an actor's life. I've been rejected, I would say 1,000 times. 1,000 times. I stopped counting after like 800 auditions. How do you not get tired? You do get tired. And you have to rest sometimes. And you have to take a break. And you have to strengthen yourself, and you have to take a day of rest. Then you got to get back up and fight again. No, I've never been to Italy. Verity, I just missed what you said. So I'm a child actress. Yay! That's wonderful. What made you want to get into acting? So keep fighting. Remember, you told me that the other day. Exactly. What happens when things happen in life and after a long, hard life, you just don't have faith anymore? I get it. And one of the reasons you don't have faith anymore is because you keep dwelling on the stuff that didn't go right. And in order to get your faith back, you have to believe in your dream. You have to believe that even though it didn't work out in the past, that it doesn't mean it's not going to work out now. Every day is new. Every opportunity is new. Every day is different. And just because, yes, I've watched Grey's Anatomy. Just because it didn't work out for you, do you dye your hair brown? It looks cute. No, I don't dye my hair brown. This, I think see these, like this little inch of roots, that's my actual hair color. It's like a dark blonde. And then I put little highlights in it. So my hair's probably, the hair, you can always tell what someone's hair color is because it's usually the color of their eyebrows. Unless people dye their eyebrows. I don't know. So you can see I have like dark blonde hair by my eyebrows. So to get your faith, you've got to put in the positive words. You've got to put in the positive affirmations. Guys, get on YouTube and watch inspirational videos. Watch motivational and inspirational videos. Build up your faith by reading the scriptures. Faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God. If you don't have faith, it's because you've been listening to the wrong voice. Do you think I should write a book? If you have a desire to write a book, then absolutely. You absolutely should write a book. And you shouldn't let anything stop you. Do you that? I don't know what you're asking, Nina. The helicopter parenting can get so bad to the point where the child is about to say what they did, but not what they have done. What are your thoughts on that? I don't know what that question means. I want to be a singer-songwriter, but I always feel like I'm not good enough. Ethan, who says you're not good enough? Is this really just a feeling you have? Because we all have those doubts. Yeah, Morgs fans, I'm sorry. Carl did pass away. It's a very sad situation. He's going to be greatly missed. We all missed some. Nick Sarando did a tribute video for Carl. You can check that out. Yes, Ethan, you can do it, because just the very fact that you have the dream means you have everything you need to be able to do it. You are capable of doing it. You are worthy of doing it. You are well able to do whatever your heart's desire is. Someone said, I downloaded your book and it really helps me very much. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So yes, you can do it, because if you have that desire, that means God put that desire in your heart. So if God put that desire in your heart, then you have everything it takes to be able to do it. Someone says, I want to be a famous DJ, but sometimes I feel like I won't make it due to some people telling me negative comments. Well, I have a question about that. Do you want to be a famous DJ because you want to be famous? Or do you just want to be a really good DJ who's well respected and talented? Sometimes we go for dreams for the wrong reasons. Sometimes it's not because we necessarily... Okay, he just spilled milk on the floor. It's okay. Pick it up. Luckily, it had a lid on, so it didn't spill too much. So going after the dreams for the right reason, because if you're going after things for the wrong reason, you're going to be miserable. You know, I used to do stock market trading. I wanted to find a way that I didn't have to work a regular 9-to-5 job and I could pursue my acting and my writing. So I got into stock market trading and I took all these expensive classes to learn how to trade stocks on the stock market. And I hated it because I was doing it just for the money. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Owl. Yeah, that's an owl. That's an owl back there. That's a whoo, 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 whoo. So if you're doing something just for the money, you're going to end up being miserable. It's going to end up not... What you guys do with your life has to go through your heart. You have to really feel it in your heart, because if you're doing something that you don't totally feel in your heart, you're not going to stick with it. I didn't stick with the stock market trading because money doesn't inspire me. It doesn't get, like, doing something just for the money. I've been offered some pretty high paying jobs and I've turned them down because it would take my time away from my writing and the things that I want to do. So I've said no to them. So you have to know what your dream is and why you want that dream. Okay, someone says I try my best, but it's hard to get it off. Oh, Verity, are you talking about your weight? I know. It's very hard. But keep trying. I'm reading a book right now. You guys might enjoy. It's called Eat Smarter, and it's not just some other diet book. It's got all the scientific research and studies that have been done about what foods help your metabolism, what foods help you burn fat, what foods help with your thyroid. So sometimes just getting educated. I don't know where you live, Verity, but Eat Smarter is on Amazon. And if you're in the US or in Canada, you can actually download the book from the library to read for free. So there is a way, whatever you desire to have happen, there is a way to have it happen. So, okay. Because several people say they're planning to start a diet. But don't spend your whole life just trying to shrink your body. There's more important things in life than your size. Someone said, I've always had passion for acting and discovered you, and it's the best to look up to you as an inspiration. Oh, thank you, Ethan. Yeah, I've been through a lot in this pursuing acting. A lot of stuff that was not good. But a lot of stuff that has been good. Hey, JN, I'm doing well. And yes, Daggy, that's what it's all about. It's about believing in yourself. That if you can just believe in yourself, you've won pretty much every battle you're ever going to face. Hey, Seth, I'm doing well. Every battle you're going to face because you are in charge of your thoughts. You are in charge of your emotions. And if you get down to it, okay, Saudi Arabia, if you get down to it, no one can even hurt you or hurt your feelings unless you let them. And that's something that took me so many years to learn, and I wish I had learned it sooner, and I hope you guys can learn it sooner. Karina, you could do both. Who says you can't have more than one dream? Look, I'm a mother, and I'm a writer, and I'm an actor, and I'm studying directing, and I want to make designs and have an online store. I mean, you can do more than one thing. It's past curfew. We must depart the streets immediately. Okay. Get somewhere safe. Is Dhar Mann Studios in California? Yes, Dhar Mann Studios is in California, Los Angeles. Yeah, and you can have more than one job. I want to go home to Arizona. I'm tired of being stuck in the Philippines. Is your family in Arizona? Okay, I want to see your husband. Well, he's out camping, so he's not home. Thank you so much. Have you ever been to Dhar Mann Studios? Yes. Geez, I shoot there. I shot there last week and the week before that. No diet. I'm going to love myself just the way I am. And I'm a good cook and I love to eat. I love to eat too. I just try to keep it healthy food. I try to eat healthy food. Keep myself healthy as long as possible. So Sergio's in Texas. Okay, I've seen the video where the father gives his son an old watch and asks him to sell it. He goes many places and falls. He gets a lot of money when he sells it at the right place. Is that a Dhar Mann video? I don't know if I've seen that one. He's got over 300 videos out, so of course I have not seen them all. Is every Dhar Mann video shot in the studio? No, not yet. They're still building out the studio right now. They have they have 4 sets done right now, so they're gonna have about 13 sets when all is said and done. Rosie wants to be a surgeon. Oh, great. Okay, so any last questions before I hop off here today? Did we answer the questions about being a loser and being on the losing side and you can still keep going and go on? Is it acceptable for parents to make their child feel bad about themselves when they get low grades on their tests? I don't think any parent should ever try to make their kid feel bad. Is that motivating to you when you feel like crap? It's not motivating to me when somebody puts me down and makes me feel, not that they can. When you purposely try to put someone down and hurt them because you think it's going to motivate them, it doesn't. Who gets motivated when somebody's yelling at you and belittling you? You don't. For me, I don't think that's acceptable. Now, you could try to motivate and encourage your kid to have good grades. You could be, as a parent, disappointed that they didn't do better, but to try to belittle them and put them down because they didn't do well, that's not healthy for anybody. That's not a healthy way to go about things. Catherine, have you watched the Asian girl video? Oh, the one about the Chinese New Year? I haven't seen that yet. I heard it was really good. I have to catch up on all the videos I've missed. Yeah, so he's saying, no, it doesn't motivate you. Getting yelled at, no, that doesn't motivate anyone. And it's tough because, you know, as a parent, I try not to yell. I try not to do something that's going to, you know, damage their feelings. But there are times when I can lose my patience. Thank you, Alice. There are times I can lose my patience, like when you've told someone to do something 6 million times, like eat their supper. Like my big boy doesn't like to eat. And sometimes, eat your food, you gotta eat your food. You wanna get big and strong, please eat your food. It's hard to get him to eat. He's like 20, 30 pounds skinnier than all the other kids his age. But it doesn't, you know, the thing is, it doesn't do any good. Okay, Eli, you've made enough noise. So, there's nothing So I mean, we could do a whole nother video on parenting. That's a whole lot of stuff that we just don't have time to get into today. So, nice joke, Raven. So Aaliyah, I mean, my day is just starting. Elijah, hey, you don't have to make all that noise. My day is just starting, but I'm sure it's going to be a good one. It's supposed to be my day of rest, but I am going to have to work on my taxes a little bit because they're due tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for sticking with me, and I hope this was motivational, inspirational, encouraging in some way. I want you guys to get back up off the battlefield, know you played your best game, you fought your best fight, and you know what? I'm sure they will make a video on that topic. Someone said they should make one on Hindi. So you guys live true, love hard, shine bright, and don't let anybody's opinion stop you from becoming who and what you want to be. Have a great day.